His true name is Aragorn, son of Arathorn, and he is chief of the Dunedain, the last remnant in the north of the ancient race of men. And although yet he wears no crown, he is a descendant of the High Kings, the heir to Isildur of Gondor. As a token of his heritage, he bears two ancient and powerful heirlooms, the broken hilt of Narsil, with which Isildur cut the One Ring from Sauron's hand, and the Ring of Barahir, a ring fashioned in the form of twin serpents with emeralds for eyes, their heads meeting beneath golden flowers, which one devours and the other upholds. Orphaned as a child, Aragorn has been raised in the house of Elrond, half-elven in Rivendell, and has long loved Elrond's daughter, the beautiful Arwen Evenstar, but she is of the long-lived elven race, and he a mortal man, and their future together requires that a terrible choice be made. Destiny weighs heavily upon Aragorn. As a member of the Fellowship of the Ring, pledged to the service of the Ring-bearer, a long quest and a great war lie ahead of him, upon which the future of the free peoples of Middle-earth depends. Aragorn, son of Arathorn, has a crucial and unenviable duty to fulfill in both before he can even begin to consider his own concerns. Boromir. Boromir is the eldest son of Denethor, the current steward of Gondor, who holds the high seat of Minas Tirith, the capital city of Gondor. Since the fall of Isildur, son of Elendil, at the Gladden Fields, the Gondorians have taken no king, instead appointing a noble steward to cover the country until the day when the legendary heir of Isildur may return to claim the throne. Indeed, they have been kingless for so long now that there is no longer any expectation that such a man may exist. Boromir has travelled north to Rivendell to seek the meaning of a recurrent dream, which told of the waking of Isildur's bane, the thing that caused the High King's death. He will learn in Rivendell that this is the One Ring, now in the possession of Frodo Baggins. Gondor lies closest of all the kingdoms of Middle-earth to the Shadow, the dark first of the speaking peoples of the world, but now in the Third Age a great sadness has come upon them, for their time in the world is coming to an end. Elves are now rarely seen in Middle-earth, for many of their number have already passed over the sea to the Undying Lands, where they may continue to live forever in bliss, away from the cares and trials of a war-torn world. Yet, small communities of elves still survive in the world, in northern Mirkwood, the Great Greenwood, at Rivendell, their ancient refuge, and in Lothlorien, the Golden Wood, which is the province of the Lady Galadriel and Lord Celeborn. Tall and slender, keen of eye, and mellifluous of speech, elves have always walked lightly upon the earth, their songs echo down the ages. Rivendell has stood for thousands of years as a last haven and hidden refuge, protected against all evil things by the power of the elves. It lies in a deeply riven valley in eastern Eriador, in the foothills of the towering snow-capped misty mountains. There, within sunlit gardens, terraces and courtyards, nestles a cluster of elegant elven buildings, ornately carved and decorated with statues, wall paintings, and fine tapestries. Its master is Elrond, lord among elves, and it is in Rivendell that the Council of Elrond is held, to discuss the matter of the One Ring, and how it may be destroyed. Elrond. It was during the war against Sauron in the Second Age that Elrond founded the Haven of Rivendell as a safe refuge for his people, and he has been its lord ever since that time. He fought in the Battle of Dagorlad in the last alliance of elves and men, serving as herald to the elven king, King Gil-galad, who fell in that great battle. When Isildur cut the One Ring from Sauron's hand, it was Elrond who urged him to destroy the ring in the cracks of doom. But his wisdom went unheeded, and instead of being destroyed for all time, Sauron was given yet another chance to rebuild his powers. Millennia old, Elrond Half-Elven is the son of Eärendil, the Mariner, and Elwing. He is a legendary healer and the guardian of a vast store of elven lore. He is also the bearer of Vilya, the Ring of Ur, one of the three great elven rings that were forged in the Second Age of Middle-earth. His name, Half-Elven, derives from his ancestry, for he can trace his line directly back to the hero Beren, a mortal man, and Luthien, the elven princess, who out of her great love for Beren gave up her immortality to live out her days with him in Middle-earth, instead of taking passage to the Undying Lands. It is Elrond who calls for a council at Rivendell between representatives of all the free peoples of Middle-earth to decide since a boy, following the loss of Aragorn's parents. Now she will be faced with a terrible choice: to act according to Aragorn's will and leave with the other elves to pass over the sea into the Undying Lands, or, like her ancestress Luthien, to give up her deathless future and become his mortal wife. Or when worse, the great and magical elven jewel called the Even Star, a name by which she is also often known. It symbolises not only her goodness and beauty, but also her longevity, so in giving it to Aragorn to wear on his great journey into Shadow, she gives him also her heart and her life. Legolas. Prince Legolas, whose name in Elvish means green leaf, is the son of King Thranduil of the Woodland Realm. He has travelled south to Elrond's council at Rivendell to act as the envoy of the woodland elves who inhabit the great northern forest of Mirkwood. This once beautiful forest is even now being overrun by orcs, wolves, and other dark wandering spirits in thrall to the powers of darkness, as the shadow of Mordor stretches even further across Middle-earth. The elves, being a long-lived race, Legolas knows the ranger Strider of old, and is well aware of his true identity. Like many of his people, he has a distrust of dwarves, which will result in a prickly relationship with the envoy of the dwarves of Erebor, Gimli, son of Gloin. Legolas brings a number of unique and beneficial skills to the Fellowship of the Ring, the Brotherhood of Nine Walkers, chosen by Elrond to bear the ring across Middle-earth. Elves have the preternatural ability to move more lightly across the ground than the other peoples of Middle-earth. Legolas is able to run swiftly and effortlessly across the roughest terrain, barely leaving footprints even upon new-fallen snow. As a forest elf, he is a master of woodcraft, able to scan his environment in order to read even the most minute traces and tracks left by the birds and beasts of the world. He can also see with greater clarity and over longer distances than the rest of the Nine Walkers, and he is a superb and deadly shot with an elvish longbow, which he pledges in Frodo Baggins' service. Legolas also carries 2 elf knives, long white knives with filigreed blades, deadly weapons, for the elves make the keenest of all blades in Middle-earth. Lothlorien. Just east of the Misty Mountains, beside the Silver Lode, which flows into the great river Anduin, lies Lothlorien, the Golden Wood, the fairest elf kingdom remaining in Middle-earth. Lothlorien is home to the Wood Elves, who are almost invisible to visitors to the wood they guard. As they move swiftly and silently through the tree canopy, camouflaged by their magical grey Nicholas of Lemberg.